Hi and welcome to Drummers Review. I'm Nolly and today we're going to be looking at the M1b and M80 snare drum dampeners from Snareweight. Snareweight are possibly best known for their solid brass snare dampening system, but in recent years have released a number of simpler and cheaper systems such as the two that we have here today. The M1b and M80 are leather patches that rest on the head while being clamped onto the snare drum rim, and they also feature a number of embedded magnets that allow you to fold over the edges to reduce the amount of muffling, as well as flip the muffler completely off the snare drum head to instantly get an unmuffled sound. The M1b is the smaller of the two dampeners, and it's designed to provide a light to moderate amount of control without killing the character and allowing some of the overtones to remain in the drum. On the other hand, the M80 is a lot larger and is designed to cut out the majority of the overtones and sustain of the drum, with the idea being that you're left with a dry, almost gated kind of snare sound. In the UK, the M1b and the M80 retail at $15.99 and $18.99 respectively, but we've seen that most stockists seem to be knocking a few quid off that on the actual street price. With more and more muffling products appearing on the market at all price points, we were keen to see what these offerings from Snareweight can do. So let's listen to a few more sound examples and come back for some discussion afterwards. The M1b and the M80 have a smart, simple look to them that exudes quality. The leather used here is soft and will become more flexible the more you use it, and it's worth saying that they're available in brown as well as white if black isn't to your taste. We found it very easy to clamp these onto the rim of a snare drum, and found that once it was on it had a very snug fit, so I don't think there's any chance that it's going to come flying off in the middle of a gig. Using a Joyful Noise TKO snare drum fitted with an Evans G1 coated as our test bed, we found that the M1b offered a pleasant, if subtle, amount of control. It seems to do a great job of maintaining the actual core sound of the instrument while also doing a little bit of tightening and neatening that I think for many players would be a simple set and forget that will work in all situations. The M80 on the other hand had a far more obvious effect. The sound of the snare is reduced down to quite a short bark, though with the way that the leather dampener actually lifts off as you strike the drum, there's still a little short burst of tone there, so it's not like the snare drum sound kind of disappears into a blip. With both of the devices, we felt that there was quite a minimal change to be had when you folded the edges over, so we kind of feel like it's a little bit gimmicky, although there is a little bit of a change there to be heard. However, it is really cool to be able to flip the device up and off the head, especially if you want to be able to retune and hear exactly what the head's doing. Speaking of retuning, we thought it would be cool to tune the drum really low and apply both of the dampeners together to see what could happen. You'll have heard it in the clips just now. And what we got out of that was a really deep, almost lo-fi snare sound, which, if left completely dry, could pass for the super dead 70s thing, but it could also be treated to a bit of gated reverb to take you way into an 80s vibe. This kind of sound could also be really useful in pseudo-electronic settings, such as in dubstep or other dance music too. Compared to the industry standard moon gels that most people use for dampening, we think these devices actually have quite a few benefits, like the fact that they're endlessly transferable onto other drums without degrading, the fact that you get a very consistent result every time you use them because it goes in the same place on the drum, whereas with a gel there's always a bit of guesswork to get it in the same place every time. And moreover, they stay put once they're installed and they don't need to be maintained by cleaning them regularly either. Before we round up, it's worth mentioning that these could easily be used on toms as well. And in fact, Snareweight recommend giving them a try because there are all sorts of kind of damped tom sounds that you could achieve by using these devices. Thinking about value for money, we feel like these would be worth it to serious drummers, drum techs and studio owners who enjoy tailoring their drum sounds and who want products that are going to last the test of time. We think that both the M1b and M80 offer some really cool sounds for both live and in the studio. But why don't you let us know what you think by leaving us a comment? Don't forget to subscribe for more content, and we'll see you next time at Drums Review.